G'day, I'm Brenton from Hearns Hobbies, and today we're going to have a look at a very old Tamiya kit. This is the CVN-65 USS Enterprise. I'll just put this to the side. Now I've done a build of this kit. We're going to share some photos of my build of it and just have a bit of a discussion about what I did to sort of detail and actualize this kit, because there are a few errors in this old kit, but if you put some work into it and a little bit of scratch building, it can come up quite good. So you get an air wing in the kit, some S3 Vikings, some F-18s, F-14s obviously. Tamiya produced this kit, I think, in the early 80s. They filmed Top Gun aboard this ship in 1984. I modelled it as it was in 1984, which required a little bit of scratch building of a few different platforms that the kit was missing, and some photo-etched aftermarket parts. I also obtained some aftermarket decals, which you should be able to find online for the appropriate air wings at the time. The decals in this kit are quite basic. They're just some stars and bars. There's no particular air wing depicted in this kit. So if you are to build it, it's something you want to think about, like what time period and what air wings would have been on the ship at the time. These are the tops of the elevators. I'm just going to adjust the camera. We'll have a bit of a look. They're quite crisply molded. When you build it, depending on how far you want to go in the kit, you'd probably cut off a lot of this plastic molded netting. It looks quite chunky and pretty ugly. The molding on the deck itself is quite good, but yeah, as I'll show in photos of my build, yeah, I replaced all these nettings with photo etched parts, which I think look quite good and add a lot of detail. You can also get from a company called 3D Wild in the USA. They're in Philadelphia. There's a complete aftermarket resin, like a 3D printed hanger deck available for this. It requires there's a lot of work if you want to actually put a hanger in this. You can cut open some hanger bay doors and things like that. Yeah, I went ahead and did all that, and it adds quite a lot, an extra dimension to the carrier, because out of the box it has all the hanger doors closed on the kit. Yeah, so it depends, as I said earlier, how far you want to go with the kit, but there's quite a lot of scope to do a lot of scratch building. There's plenty of photos available online to really detail this thing and make it look quite good. Bow section of the flight deck, it's got a lot of raised detail on it, which I think looks quite ugly. It comes in 3 pieces which don't fit particularly well. As you can see, if I get that glare on the deck, you can see 65 molded into the deck. When I did it, I sanded all of this away, replaced it with decals. You can see, if I move this a bit, you can sort of see there's little tie down points on the flight deck. I drilled all those out. Really, they're over scale. Like in 3/50th scale, you probably wouldn't want them to be too deep, but I did it just for a bit of added detail, and I think it really adds quite a lot to the kit. Midsection of the flight deck, and as you can see, a lot of raised detail on it, which helps if you want to mask it and paint it. I masked all these runway demarcations and airbrushed them, which was quite easy to do, and I think looks a lot better than painting these raised details. But it is a very old kit, so you know, things have changed since, you know, the early 80s when this was made. Again, you can see molded netting on the side. I removed all that and replaced it with the Edward photo etch. It is a tad over 1 metre long. The hull is molded in 2 sections. The bow section is one, obviously, and then we have the rest of the hull. So altogether, it's quite a large kit. When you assemble this, there's 2 holes for some screws to go through to hold the thing together, and some metal bracing as well. Once I screwed this thing together, I filled it with, I use medium zap CA and some kicker to fill the holes and sand them back. I removed a lot of the detail on the sides of the hull and replaced them with plastic strips and things of that nature. Yeah, it's quite nicely detailed, but I think with a little bit of extra work, it can come up pretty good, I reckon. And as you can see, it's just basically a big plastic tub, which if you're so inclined, you can, as I mentioned earlier, scratch build a hangar bay, or you could buy an aftermarket set. There are also aftermarket conversion sets for this thing, so you could make it appear as it was, you know, in the 2000s, right up until it was decommissioned. So thanks for watching, guys. That was just a quick look at a very old Tamiya Enterprise kit. We'll share some photos of my build of it, and maybe you'll feel like giving this one a go yourself. Thanks for watching.